Well, good morning, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Thursday, October 15th meeting of your Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club, celebrating 83 years of service to the Irving community. You'll stand with me. Our invitation day will be led by the Reverend Bill Lamar, our pledge by Richard Raymond. Neil and Sandra are going to lead us on singing Home on the Range, and Doreen will introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests. So, Pastor Bill.
Before we begin, I just found out that Don George is in the hospital and don't know exactly what's going on with him, but he's having heart and lung issues. I get this operated on in the morning. I will be here next week, but it's road recovery. And also, I talked to Robert Martinez yesterday, who's on the board at Parkland, and you need to know that Parkland Hospital is as full with COVID right now as it ever was. It's as full as it ever was, and the threat condition has gone back to red. So everybody just be very careful. And with that good news, let us give God thanks and praise. Eternal God, we give you thanks for the cool weather. It feels good outside. It's nice, and we celebrate it. It reminds us that fall is upon us. We give you thanks for this club and its work in our community. We lift up to you those members among us who are ill and hurting, and ask that your presence and your spirit be upon them. We give you thanks for the bounty of this table. We ask your spirit to bless this food, to take it to the nourishment of our bodies, and to keep us in our fellowship and our club in its work in your peace. In the name of Christ, amen.
Richard.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, give me a home with a full room, give the deer and the antelope land. Where seldom is good, but is flourishing, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Oh, on the range, where the deer and the antelope land. Where seldom is good, but is flourishing, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Thank you very much. Have a seat.
Very good. Just one other quick announcement that Sandra just told me. One of our former Rotarians, Scotty Ashley, has passed away. So his services are pending. If you'll remember Scotty's family in your prayers, and if we get more information, we'll text that, or we'll have Mara email that out to you. Well, we have a few visiting Rotarians and guests. Doreen, you have a list there? All right. Lindy, do we have a list of visiting Rotarians and guests? I know our program has most of the visitors. I'm looking around the room. I don't think we have any visiting Rotarians and guest Rotarians. So thank you, Doreen. We'll let our program introduce the rest, but Doreen's here. Okay, good. Well, Doreen, we're glad you joined us today. Just a reminder to everybody, the district governor will be here, John Mosier, next week. I think Max will be here since she's the district governor-elect. Would encourage you to be here in person or join us on Zoom so we have a good turnout. If you're a board member or an Avenue of Service chairperson, we'll actually be meeting with the district governor at 11 o'clock next Thursday. So those of you that are serving in those positions, if you can join us, if you're not able to be here in person, you can join us on Zoom. We'll have that available as well. Bobby, are you getting attendance or you have an announcement? Okay, we're getting attendance there. Well, we have an exciting program today. Our high school basketball, male and female basketball coaches are with us. Lots to talk about in the way of sports, especially in this COVID era. Mike Kunsot, are you ready to come up and introduce, or you can do your song and soft dance, or kind of some of our folks aren't here yet. So, Coach, glad you're here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate it. Yes, we are missing two people. I don't know where they are. I know I was in contact with Coach Roddy, but I'm sure there's something comes up that they'll be here shortly. But anyway, this is a program each year we look forward to, and that is hearing from our head men's and women's basketball coaches at our 3 high schools. I know they're going to have some interesting things to tell you with this coronavirus going around, how they've had to make some adjustments and what they've done, how they've done it. They'll talk about their teams. They'll talk about the upcoming season. So I was going to turn it over to Coach Roddy at this point in time and let him introduce, but what I guess I'll do is I'll just start out by introducing the senior member of the basketball coaches in Irving ISD. I won't tell them how many years, Coach O'Schlegel, but Coach Susie O'Schlegel from MacArthur High School. You're first, Susie.
Toby? Coach Toby, would you go first? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, y'all. No, it's fine. Take your time.
Hello, I'm Coach Toby Martin. I'm the head boys basketball coach there at MacArthur. I don't mind going in place for Coach O because I'm going to use up half of her time. So if you heard me talk before, you know I can be a little bit long-winded, so bear with me, and we'll try to get through this as best as can. So first I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club, and thank you for Coach that providing us this platform to talk about our teams and our program in the upcoming season. It's been challenging. It's been challenging. We sit,
that personal tax return.
Things have been different. We've had to be flexible and fluid. We're going to struggle in this upcoming season. The expectations are, and it has been difficult. It has been challenging, but I know that from talking to these guys and ladies that we've all stepped up to that challenge and gotten ourselves together so that we can provide these kids with the best experience possible. Coming off of last year was a good year for us. We won 25 games, and we did not lose back-to-back games until the final 2, games of the season. The only thing that was unfortunate about that is we happened to lose to the wrong people in district, and we ended up as the 5th seed when we went into the last 2 games tied for first. And I know that's kind of bizarre on how you can win 25 games and only lose 6 during the course of a season and not make the playoffs. It's a couple of possessions away, we would have been right there. We felt like we had a strong team. We have 3 returning starters that have been on varsity since their sophomore year. It's Marcus Rigsby Jr., Davion Daly, and Kenny Hardy. Davion is a former all-district player and defensive player of the year. Kenny is a 2-time all-district player, first-team all-district player. And Marcus is a 2-time all-district player. I had the unique experience this fall to actually see what we put into our kids and our program come to fruition. We were at the Duncanville Tuesday Night League 3 weeks ago, and our player Marcus Rigsby Jr., going through the summer, he wasn't able to play as consistently with his AAU team as he'd like, and we felt like he was a college basketball player, but hadn't had the opportunity to show that through the summer and to pick up an offer. So all week I'd been getting calls from Oklahoma Christian, their assistant coach, and they wanted to come in that Tuesday night and watch Marcus play because he was bringing the head coach in and he wanted to just make sure and be certain that this is the kid they want. So we go up, we know we're playing Highland Park, and they're going to fundamental you and back cut you. And, we go out there and we lay an absolute egg in the first half. Marcus looks awful. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, this kid is about to lose a shot at earning some money and getting a free education. And the second half, about 2 minutes into the second half, we're down 21, and he gets a steal and a layup, little contact and one, and it's like the light clicked on. And when the light clicked on, we always talk about in our program that toughness and your foundation travels. Like sometimes you go to a gym and the shots don't fall, and you can't control what officials are going to do. But what you can do is control your mindset, your toughness, and revert back to your foundations. And it was interesting to see a kid be able to tap into what they've been taught and return to those and score 24 in the second half and get offered, before he left the parking lot. So we're really excited about him picking up his first scholarship offer. We're expecting our next two seniors to pick some up during the course of the season. Things have changed at MacArthur a little bit. I got a new assistant this year. My previous assistant moved on and is now the head coach at Rock Hill. And we hired a new assistant, and his son is coming to play for us. He was a preseason, district MVP candidate at Arlington Seguin, and he's going to provide us with another guard to, help us run our offense and facilitate and just be a great addition locker room wise. Very tough little guard. He's only about 5'7". When you walk into the gym and see him, you're not going to be impressed with his size, but you will be impressed with his fight. So we're really excited about having him over. I mentioned earlier that my former assistant moved on to become the head coach at Prosper Rock Hill. Well, one of the things we like to do in our program is build, a pipeline of the next generation of coaches. This is my second coach that I've had go on and open a new school. And I'm really proud of that. And I'm really excited to see if he takes our foundations that, we built at MacArthur up to Prosper and can continue to grow with those. So really excited for him. We scrimmage him, and so that'll be interesting. And like I said, this year has been challenging. And I know that the coaches in this district and across the state are up to the challenge. That's why we've been put in this position. So I'm excited about it. Coach O, are you ready? Okay, I'm going to introduce. I call him young because he is a lot younger than me now. I feel like this is my 10th year in the district and 18th overall. I'm going to introduce Coach Crawford. He's the new head basketball coach at Irving High. He's coming up and he's speaking right after me because that's how I intended to finish in district. So right after me.
All right. Like Coach Martin said, I'm Coach Crawford. First of all, thank you all for having us here. Coach Kuhnstadt, thank you. Like Coach Martin said, for giving us this platform. I'm originally from Wichita Falls, moved down here about 10 years ago. I've spent the last 8 seasons. I was really blessed to coach under a guy like Percy Johnson at Newman Smith High School in Carrollton. Taught me a lot. One of those things you don't really realize how good it is until you leave. He was a good man and a good coach, and I learned a lot, and I'm blessed to kind of take on this Irving gig, which I'm really excited about, and kind of, bring those foundations and those beliefs from Newman Smith to Irving. Like I said, I'm excited about being at Irving. I believe that we can win at Irving. I wouldn't have taken this job if I didn't think we could. It's going to take a lot of hard work. And like Coach said, with this pandemic that's going on, it's been a little difficult meeting the kids, getting to know them, start building those relationships. But since September 28th, we've hit the ground running, and the kids are working really hard, and I think we're moving in the right direction. Again, I want to thank Coach Roddy and Coach De Los Santos and Coach Robinson, who's here with us, for giving me the opportunity and believing in me to take over this program. A little bit about what we're going to do, what we're going to be about is I believe that it starts and ends with discipline. We got to be disciplined off the court before we can win on the court. We're going to hold these kids accountable in everything that they do. It's our responsibility as coaches, as a coaching staff, to use the game of basketball to prepare them for a world that you and I we didn't grow up in. Things are different. And it's our job as coaches to teach them how to be successful in this new world that we live in. We have the energy as a staff to hold these kids accountable in many ways, being on time, communication, passing your classes, being respectful, all those sort of things. We are going to spend a lot more time on the off the court stuff than we will on the court. We'll show some grace on the court, but off the court, we're not going to show a lot of grace. They need to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. A couple things that about our program that we will focus on and we'll try to do with these young men is build relationships. I feel like it's probably the most important thing in coaching to have success is to build relationships with these young men. We coach them hard. We hold them accountable, like I said. We're very demanding, but we got to show them a lot of love too. We believe that building relationships translates to a successful individuals and winning teams. In an age where there is less focus on one-on-one conversations and more on the sensationalism created by social media, while a tweet can be good for a minute, those relationships that we can build with these kids can last a lifetime and off the court. The other one is communication. I feel like these kids are very, hey, let's text, 1-2 word text, short emails. We want to teach these young men how to communicate, how to talk, how to explain themselves, how to be respectful. That only leads to success off the court, but we got to communicate on the court, and that'll help us have success on the court as well. As far as this upcoming season, I believe we got 4 guys coming back from last year. It's like I said, it's been a little difficult with this pandemic, meeting the guys and getting to know them and seeing what we had last year. But also that's a good thing. The expectations are high. Our slogan for this year and probably years to come is work together, win together. We want to be connected, and we want to do everything together. And like I said, we feel like our discipline off the court will lead to the discipline on the floor, which leads to wins. You will see a team when you come to an Irving basketball game, you'll see a team that really has 3 characteristics. And these 3 things are something that we demand and we teach every single day. They're non-negotiables. That is energy, that's effort, and that's toughness. The best thing about those 3 things is they require 0 talent. But we require our kids to have those 3 things every single time they step foot on the floor. Every time they're in the classroom, they need to show energy, they need to show effort, and they need to show some toughness. If we can do those 3 things and stay together, I think we have a chance to have some success. Like Coach Martin mentioned, our district, it's going to be tough. We're with the Richardson schools, Jesuit, and then the 3 Irving schools. There's a lot of talent. But probably more so or more important is there's a lot of good coaches that we have a lot of respect for. Coaches that have been doing it a long time, coaches that do it the right way and get their kids to do what they're supposed to do. When you put those 2 things together, good coaching and good talent, it makes for good basketball. But I'll tell you this, at Irving, myself and my staff, we're up to the challenge. And we're ready and we're excited about it. We told our kids just yesterday, we're going to have a lot of opportunities with the non-district and district schedule that we play. We've got, the district schedule before that. We're going to Denton Ryan. We're playing the Colony, a Mansfield Legacy. We want to push our kids and challenge them, but they're either going to get exposed or they're going to get exposure. And we want our kids to get exposure. They just need to be ready. And as a staff, that's our job to make sure that they get ready. I guess in conclusion, I just want to let all of you know, and I probably speak for all the coaches in the room when I say this, we love to coach. We really do. It's a passion that we have to coach young people. But we want to be teachers first. We want to teach them about life and how to be successful in life. One thing that I try to do, my staff tries to do, is to make sure that their life and their personal situations are going in the right direction. Because we believe if your life is not on track and your life is not going right, basketball is probably not going to go right either. We got to be good people. Things got to be in line. Things got to be in order in our personal lives before we can be successful on the basketball court. So like I said, I'm just really appreciative and humbled for the opportunity to speak here today. I thank all of you, and I look forward to seeing all of you at a Irving Tiger game this upcoming season. Thank you. Coach O from Irving McCarthy.
Okay, thank y'all, first of all, for that delicious lunch. I always get so excited when I don't have to bring my own lunch to school every day. Because I put the same thing, turkey, carrots, I just do the same thing every day. So it's a nice change for me. Just a little bit about, I'm starting my 41st year. I know everybody's like, are you kidding me? I came here right after I played at Baylor. I followed my brother up here, and this is year number 41, and I've loved every year. I have a lot of passion for the game. I still love it. I still got players that come, like Odyssey Sims just came today. She brought her son Jaden, and she plays for Minnesota, the Lynx, and it's just a really special time to have former players like that come. Alexis Jones was in town yesterday visiting. She was formerly played for Atlanta, and so it's just a blessing. The game of basketball gives so many opportunities, not only to young people, but it's just a blessing to me to see those guys in the gym and take them down to see Ms. Brown in the front office, and Sarah Andrews and Hannah are both at Baylor this year. I got two players that came off last year's team. They're both at Baylor, and they made the mistake of telling me how easy those practices were under Coach Mulkey. So all I did was pick up the phone and I gave Coach Mulkey a call and say, hey, I heard your practices are too easy for these two, so you might want to do something about that. But anyway, I just decided I would just say a few things to Coach Mulkey about that. But anyway, we're going to be this year, we're going to be a lot different team. We're returning. Right now we got 3 starters back. I got 7 returners, and we're going to be really, really young, a lot of inexperience. We got one kid, Jordan Newsom, who's already signed for Coastal Carolina. She's going to be going a long way from home. It's a new challenge for her and her family. We played, let me just say this Zoom meeting stuff, I've never coached a team on a Zoom meeting ever in my life. And for 6 weeks, that was a real challenge for me. Hey, straighten up your legs and bend your knees. And I mean, we did all these different things, but I've never done that before. So it was really challenging, but it was fun. But you got to see the kids every day, and that's the fun part of what we do, is get to see the kids. But it's going to be a year of firsts. Everybody knows that, the Zoom meetings. But I appreciate the board and for letting us stay out of the school district for 6 weeks. I was really glad about that. I thought that was smart. And we got to continue to be careful with all like you said, the new outbreaks that are coming. But we're trying to be very, very careful at the school. But just a few things about what we did in the fall. We played in the league at Louisville, the fall league. And we didn't play many games, but that was good for us to get out. I felt like we needed to, since I felt like we were kind of behind. Everybody was working out and we were in Zoom meetings. So there's good and bad of everything, but we got to play a little bit in Louisville, and then we did a shootout in Louisville, and that was fun. Like I said, we didn't win many games, but that's okay. And what matters is when we get to district. We start this coming Wednesday, and I'm excited about that. Remember that the UIL changed it where we had no tournaments. So as coaches, we were all in a hurry to try to find games to fill those openings. So we all had a ton of tournaments. And so when you're missing those tournaments, I think I was out of town at the time when that came about. So everybody was scrambling to fill those tournament dates. So that, like I said, it's going to be a year of first, but everybody got their games filled up quickly. This past couple of years, we've been the back-to-back champions in the district with the Coppels and the District 6-5A. So as the coaches said, this is going to be a new challenge for us. There's a lot of athletes in this new district, and I've seen them a little bit in some of these leagues, but I really am enjoying practice these days, and I just really love what I do. And so last year hurt deeply for me. It just hurt deeply. I felt like it was a year for us to go all the way, and that it was a very, very hard thing for me to take as a coach. As it was just real hard for me to get over that. But anyway, there's always challenges with new teams, but I'm excited about this group and I love what I do. And I hope I'm not doing this for 41 more years, but I lost my dad this past year, and that was hard. That was a challenge for me right in the middle of the season. And so this is a year first. I'm parentless now, so that's kind of tough. It's been tough, but when you get older, that's what happens. But losing my dad, he was my backbone. He was solid, and losing him was tough. We lost him in January, right in the middle of the season, so that was really hard for me to make that adjustment. But that's what happens. But anyway, I love Irving, and thank you for this opportunity, Coach Kunstadt. I've loved Irving ISD all these years, and Dr. Parr, I wish you well. And Irving has been good to me. Thank y'all very much. Oh, that's another thing. When you get older, you forget things. So I'm going to introduce to you now Coach Katrina Robinson, head coach at Irving High, ladies coach.
All right, not quite 41 years, but 7. I'm working my way up. So I'm Katrina Robinson. I'm the head girls basketball coach at Irving High School and assistant coordinator. This is my 7th year in that position, and it's definitely been a ride. Last year was rough for me as well. Coach O and I, it's weird to say we bonded over it, but we lost 2 people really, really important in our lives. She lost her father, and I lost my aunt that was basically my other mom. So I struggled a lot last season, and without people like her and Coach Zachary that I've known since I was 12, I don't know if I would have made it through the year, because I had a really, really young team. If y'all remember, I had 5 freshmen on my varsity. And when I mean to tell you, they pulled every string that they could to upset me last year. They were like, yes, let's poke that button. Let's poke that button. And then once we got through the season, a lot of things changed, and it was a good change. With COVID, I'm not sure with a lot of other people, but for me, COVID was kind of what I needed, like the actual be able to quarantine and just relax for a second, because so much had gone on in my family beyond the death of my aunt. I had lost a little cousin a year ago on the 11th. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. One of my best friends had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, all during basketball season. So once season ended, I was like, okay, spring break. And then they said I didn't have to go back. I was like, cool, I'm not getting to bed and just relax and catch up on all my shows and just pray on this and make sure that I'm okay mentally. But with that being said, COVID was not good for basketball, not good for athletes, because a lot of these kids literally sat and ate chips and Hot Pockets for 7 months. And so when they came in, I told them, I was like, well, babes, looks like we're going to be doing a lot of conditioning. And that has been hard on not only the kids, but it's been hard on the coaches to keep them motivated, because who wants to just run? So I've been working, trying to figure out different ways to make sure that we're doing fun conditioning drills. So it might just be, we're going 3-man weave all practice today. I'm going to turn the music on and let it blast and just let y'all go. Or we literally go outside and we run on the football field, because we're in block schedule now, which is different than any other year. And I have them every day, first period. So with that being said, some of them are here or at school. I think there's 8 in all. Go to school all day, and the rest of them are not in school. So like they were saying, it's been challenging making sure all of the kids are logged into their Zoom session, doing all of their class work, because the parents are at work or the parents are on Zoom themselves working. So, but beyond this been a different type of year. I'm excited about it. I do have 6 returners from my varsity. No, 5 returners. I have 4 seniors, 3 of which of my returners were starters. And so they're not freshmen anymore. 2 are seniors, one's a freshman. They're not freshmen. They're not sophomores, and they're still 15 years old. So it's still challenging to get them to understand the importance of hard work and why, you know what? I say it all the time. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But if you always have to get ready, you're always going to be behind everybody else. So in those 6 weeks where we were not able to see our kids, I didn't focus as much on, you know what, let's do this online workout that I would do it because I'm an adult. So I'll do an online workout. I focused on character development. Athletic department, they granted us access to a program called 2 Words. 2 Words is really, really, really a good program because there's videos, there's lessons. And one of my assistant coaches, she's a marketing person, and she has our kids canvas. So awesome. And then she puts all the questions on there, and they go on there and they have weekly assignments of those questions. And they have to comment on each quote of the day. I have incorporated that into our practices. So we have a quote of the day, and one person has to come and speak out about that quote. It's important to me because, like, let me find the quote from today. Today's quote is, if you want to know what you will do, look at what you are doing. And if you want to change what you will do, change what you're doing today. Even me as an adult, I know I gained weight over the break. I did. But I told my girls, I was like, when y'all see me in person, I won't look like the person y'all see me as right now on Zoom. Because I know that I need to make better decisions and change different things. I tell them, if you're doing the same thing this Monday that you were doing last Monday, you are not bettering yourself and you're not bettering your teammate. Everything we do is to better each other. I'm a firm believer in, if they want to be there, they'll work harder for me. If they love and respect me, they'll work harder for me. I had a conversation with one of my sophomores now yesterday, and it's a lot of our kids have different types of home life. And she moved from with her mom to with her dad. And the kid told me, I said, well, how's that going? She goes, I'm happier, coach. To hear a kid say that was struggling all year last year, to just hear her say, I'm happy, it melted my heart. Now, granted, she did get kicked out of practice last week, but that made me let her back in today. So it's been one of those, it's a learning experience for all of us. But other than that, I try to make sure I have a good attitude on a daily basis, because if you ask April, she'll tell you, you probably can be very condescending. You're right. And I'm very facetious. And I tell myself multiple times during practice, give it all you got. Give it all you got. Because if I'm not giving my all, who am I to expect them to give their all to me and to the program and to Irving High School? So all in all, I appreciate y'all for having us, and I'm excited. This is my 7th year at Irving High School, 8th year in the district, and I have high expectations for my girls always. And it's not just on the basketball court. That's in life. That's in the classroom. That's one of my girls asked me what honor society was. I said, something that you should be a part of. That's what it is. And the fact that they emailed you, that means that you're probably going to be a part of that. So keep your grades up and don't let up. Make sure you show these people, show anybody, if they thought anything less of you, that they know exactly who you are and what your name is, and that you are an amazing person and you're an even better student. So thank you so much for having us. And I guess I'm introducing April Zachary, head coach at Nimitz High School. April O'Neal. I know her as April O'Neal, but she hasn't been O'Neal with me. How many years now? It's been a while. I don't get that joke anymore. Whatever.
Hey, I'm gonna say, if y'all familiar with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when I grew up, my maiden name is O'Neal, so I was the reporter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So when I got married, I didn't have to hear that joke anymore. All right, now I'm April Zachary. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be here. We all are. Just agreeing with Coach O. Always nice to bring something other than what I pack. Usually it's a protein shake because I'm always doing something during lunch. So to be able to sit and actually enjoy lunch is nice, and talk amongst fellow peers and all you guys. We just really appreciate it. Just want to talk. This is my 2nd year at Irving Nimitz. Had a good time my 1st year. Had a lot of really great kids. I just wanted to start by saying that some of the things that some of you guys mentioned, coaches, I know Coach mentioned how tough everything has been in terms of challenging. Coach O mentioned the Zoom workouts. That's been a challenge for me as well, right? And I'm a younger coach, and Coach is young too at heart, because she's still getting there and is very passionate about the game. But those Zoom workouts were tough. And it was tough to we were teaching pivots and rips and having to watch one video and then the other one. It's been a challenge. I know during that time too, one of the things that we started doing is we usually every Wednesday we have an FCA day, where we just we have some word and we talk about the Lord, and we pray, and we just talk about some different things that are going on in their life. which kind of really brought us to our theme for this year. So our theme for this year is pass the baton. So one of the FCA lessons that we were going through was just talking about life in general. And when you think about maybe a 4x1, you think about there's 4 different exchange zones. And God takes you through your life. You go through different phases, whether it's graduating from high school, graduating from college, getting married, different challenges that you guys might go through. And we talked about those different things. And we talked about Nimitz High School being an exchange zone. And we talked about passing the baton, meaning when you've got the baton at Nimitz High School, what are you going to do with it? Right? You got to understand that what you do on the basketball court and outside of the basketball court, you're setting the stage for the people that are coming behind you. I remember countless time having conversation with some of my seniors that I know have aspirations in playing at the next level. And remember telling them, I'm not lying to no college coach for you, right? Because if you're a hard worker, I'm gonna tell them that. If you're not taking care of your business in the classroom or on the court, I'm gonna tell them that too. Because if I tell them that you are and you don't, they're never gonna recruit another kid from Nimitz High School. You're gonna mess it up for everybody else. So when we talk about pass the baton, that's extremely important. When you pass the baton as a senior, you're passing that baton to that next generation, that junior. Did you get that junior ready? Did you get that sophomore ready? Did you get that freshman ready that maybe had an opportunity to play varsity or was going to be a developmental player on JV? So that's kind of our theme for this year, just in terms of being better every day. Now, even if I just got a little better than I was yesterday, I got to be better every single day. A little bit about my team last season. Last season was kind of a rebuild year for us. Rebuild in terms of it was my first year with them, so they didn't know me. Having a lot of kids that were new from varsity. I had a kid that was a sophomore last year, but literally the year before she played on the freshman B team. Played on the freshman B team and it really worked her way up to not just on the varsity team. She started for me on varsity. You know, just her energy, she's really coachable. She does a great job of communicating with her teammates in terms of rotations. If they're supposed to be, if they got the incorrect rotation, she's really good about telling them where they should be, right? In a real, I would say, professional way, but she does a great job of doing that. But anyway, last year was a rebuild year for us. We learned a lot. I think they learned a lot. A lot of things that I feel like we did last year didn't necessarily show up on our wins and loss records, right? But a lot of things that we did were just more positive in the classroom, and girls just really taking care of their business. And then, like all the coaches said, our job in terms of, if we do our job right, and I tell my kids this, and I tell my coaches this, if we do our job right, and we won't know until the kids are gone. When they're gone and they graduate from high school, they graduate from college, when they reach out back to us, when they come visit us, when they involve us in their world, that's when we know we've impacted their life. If they don't do that, man, you got to kind of hit the reset button on what am I doing? Am I building relationships with my kids? Because at the end of the day, whether we win a lot or whether we lose a lot, I love building relationships with my kids. I want them to know that irregardless of what happens with basketball, what happens with you academically, what happens in your world, I'm here for you. Right? And I can't help you unless you tell me, but I'm here for you. I'm gonna be here for you after high school, after college. And I always tell my seniors and just my kids in general, once I coach you for life. That's it. Ain't what a situation like you graduated from my program and you're not gonna hear from me anymore. You graduate from my program and I'm, hey, you taking care of your business in the classroom. Hey, I talked to your mama the other day. She told me, because I talked to their mamas too. Right. So those relationships piece are so important. My 2 seniors that I had last year got the opportunity to play at the next level, both junior colleges. One went to Jacksonville College, which I think is close to Temple. You know, my direction is still off, Katrina. You know, I need my maps, right? And then I had another kid that is at a junior college in Arkansas. So, and she was one of my sleepers, just to kind of watch her play a little bit. But she got a scholarship because she's an extremely hard worker. That's exactly what I told that coach. I said, I'll be honest with you, coach, she's not very skilled. She needs a lot of work. I only had a year with her. She has so many levels in terms of potential, but she's a hardworking kid. Whatever you tell her to do, she's going to get it done. Now, you're going to have to stay on her in the books because she like to procrastinate, but she's going to be your toughest kid. Even in the game, coach, I remember we played Mac, right? Hannah, she about 6'8". She's not really 6'8", but she about like 6'8". She was my kid that had to guard her. One of my conversations where I said, hey, I'm just going to be honest with you. If Hannah catches the ball and she's got 2 feet in the paint, it's barbecue chicken, right? Barbecue chicken, whatever kind of seasoning she like, barbecue sauce, right? She's going to put it on you and she's just going to turn and go up. There's nothing you're going to do about it. So we talked about, you got to do your work early. When Hannah doesn't have the basketball, you got to push her out. Let her catch it on short corner. Can she still hit that? Yeah. But the chances that she gonna hit that shot in the paint, that's 100%, right? And if you foul it, she gonna finish and she gonna shoot free throws, right? And she's gonna make free throws. So that was the kid that got the opportunity, and it really didn't play a whole lot of basketball, didn't play AU basketball. So I was really, really excited for the opportunity that she got to play at the next level. And just kind of talked to her the other day, and we just talked about the next time we're in town to be able to kind of do lunch and catch up. But that's just kind of, as coaches, that's really what we enjoy outside of the game. We're passionate about the game, but outside of the game, those relationships, again, are just so important. This season, I have 8 returning varsity kids. So I'm really excited about that. Now, out of those 8, most of those girls are volleyball. So I'm not excited about that, right? If you guys know, volleyball season got pushed back. So it is pushed into basketball season. So I've already communicated with my kids and with my coaches that we're not going to be very good. We're not going to be very good. But in the other sense, it might be okay. Some of those kids that weren't going to get as much playing time are going to play. Some of those kids that wouldn't have got the minutes to have confidence, they're going to get confidence because they're going to play. They're going to get yelled at us, me, yelled at my coaches. We're going to coach them up in practice. And at the end of the day, just like we're going to get better every single day. So then when we do get our volleyball girls back and we're fully staffed, now everybody's stronger than what they currently are. And now we've got a better shot and a better opportunity to be successful when we go against those tough teams, because we're going to play them this year. We always going to be in the district with MAC, and they're always going to let us have it. And they give us our best, and we give them our best as well. So I'm a competitor. I love to compete. That's been another challenge in my kids in general is I don't think our kids know how to compete. And I was talking to one of my coaches about it. I'm like, Coach, they don't compete. I said, I get it. But I feel like as a coach too, it's our job to show them how to compete. If you've never been taught how to compete, how can you just be expected to know how to do it? We got to show them. We got to coach them. We got to show them what that looks like. And we do it every day. We do it consistently. We do it. And then we're going to wake up one day and they're going to be competing on their own, right? We might have to pull them back a little bit, which is okay, right? But we have to show them how to do that. And that's been one of the other biggest things that we always talk about in practices too, is just we got to compete every single day. And we got to get better every single day. Challenges, like I know we've all talked about, COVID was tough for me too. Just so busy usually with basketball. I think I almost went into depression with not being able to do it as often as I would like to. But just as Coach Robinson was saying, COVID was good too. It made me take a step back, and it made me reevaluate myself and reassess myself. And from doing that, I feel like, God is really showed me some different things in different areas in my life where I can be better. Different areas in my life where I can be better for my coaches and be better for my kids, which ultimately is going to be better for my program. And then outside of that, guys, that's really all I have for you. I'm excited about this season. I know it's going to be challenging. One of the things I always tell my kids and my coaches is, do we want to grow or do we want to be comfortable? Because we can't do both, right? And a lot of times we're put in uncomfortable situations, but it's just like I tell my kids, if we don't put you in uncomfortable situations, you'll never grow. If we don't put you in uncomfortable situations, you'll never get better. If I don't ever put you in a trap and you get into a trap in a game, you're going to struggle because you've never been into a trap, period. So I just want to leave you guys with that. I appreciate you guys' time. We enjoy coming every single year, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
Mike?
Just real quick.
Sure, please.
Coach Donaldson from Nimitz High School texted us and said he had a family emergency, so that's the reason he's not here today. I know some of our coaches have to get back. They don't have a sub, so they just have someone covering. So normally we'd open it up for a few questions, but once again, Coach, we appreciate you and what you've done and what you will do for this upcoming basketball season. So once again, nice round of applause for our men's and women's basketball coaches.
Thank you again, coaches, for coming. Hope you enjoyed the meal, the ice cream. I saw your eyes light up when they set that bowl of ice cream down there. Well, what a great program we had today. What a great athletic department we have in Irving to really inspire and encourage students to live life and to do so with all the passion. Now, I did learn something today, Coach. We're going to be checking out on Zoom. I'm going to be looking at posture and positioning, footwork. So those of you on Zoom, there you go, set up. Let's have some good posture. Coach, you might need to share with me what I'm looking for there. Well, let's stand. We're going to have the four-way test. It's not far here. Oh, I'm sorry. Laura Manning has an announcement. So, Laura, unmute yourself.
Okay,
Go
can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. I know everybody is very concerned about COVID, as we should be. And on December 9th, we're going to be doing a virtual town hall open to the entire community. And Cindy is going to be discussing COVID and the research that's being done right here in Irving, because there's some exciting things happening. So mark your calendars for December 9th. It's actually going to be an ugly Christmas sweater virtual town hall meeting. So I'll remind y'all of it as it gets closer, but just wanted to let you know.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura. All right, got that muted. Dr. Parr is still here with us. So Dr. Parr, lead us in the four-way test, if you would, please.
Four-way test. Things you think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better
Better
friendship?
friendships,
Will it be beneficial to
special
all?
to all concerned.
Thank you to all of you. Reminder, the district governor is here next week. Please join us in person or on Zoom. Thank you all. We're adjourned.